I kept one of the receipts. I don't really know why. It's faded now, the thermal ink's almost gone, but I can still make out the one line that matters. $612. That was the rifle. A guy came in on a Saturday morning to buy his first deer gun. He'd done his homework, he had a budget, he knew exactly what he wanted, and he walked out an hour and a half later, having spent just under $1,200. Here's the part it took me years to say out loud. On that $600 rifle, the thing he thought was the big purchase, the thing he stood at the counter and agonized over, the store I worked for made almost nothing. Some weeks we moved guns exactly like that one at a loss. The real money, every single dollar of it, was in the other things I added to his receipt after he'd already said yes to the gun. I sold hunting gear for 6 years, and in 6 years, nobody ever once taught me to lie to a customer. They taught me something quieter than that, and honestly, something smarter. They taught me the order to say things in. They handed me a script, and the script worked. So, by the end of this video, you're going to know all 5 of the things we were trained to put in your cart. You're going to know exactly why we put them there. And you're going to understand why the gun, the thing you walked in for, was never actually the point. Let me get one thing out of the way first, because if I don't, the rest of this falls apart. I want you to throw out the picture in your head of the slick commission salesman circling you like a shark, smelling the commission. That guy mostly doesn't exist on the floor of a big box outdoor store. I was paid by the hour. Most of the people standing behind those counters are paid by the hour, 15, maybe 18, maybe $20 an hour, and they don't see an extra dime whether you buy the cheap scope or the expensive one. So when I tell you we push things on you, I need you to understand that almost none of us were getting rich off your purchase. The pressure didn't come from greed. It came from above us. It came in the form of quotas we got graded on, scripts we got coached on, daily numbers a manager read out loud at the morning huddle, and a steady drip of free gear from the brands. The person who sold you your gear was not your enemy. The person who sold you your gear was running the same play every single shift because the building was designed around one idea. The idea is this. The gun is bait. The store doesn't make its money on the bait. It makes its money on everything you let us attach to the bait while your guard is down in that warm, happy window right after you've already decided to spend. Keep that one idea in your head because all 5 of these things are just different ways of running it. Here's the first one. The first thing we were trained to push on you is the extended warranty, the protection plan. The little add-on at the register that sounds like nothing. $20 here, $150 there, just in case something breaks. And of everything I'm going to tell you today, this is the one where the numbers are so lopsided, it's almost insulting. Consumer Reports has studied these plans for years, and their finding is blunt. Stores keep 50% or more of what they charge you for that contract. Read that again. Half or more of what you hand over is pure profit to the store because there's no product to ship, no inventory sitting on a shelf, nothing to return. It's a piece of paper. And the consumer watchdog group Consumer's Checkbook found the other half of the picture, which is even uglier. Less than 20 cents of every dollar that customers spend on extended warranties ever comes back to anybody as an actual paid claim. 20 cents on the dollar. You are buying insurance that, on average, pays out 1/5 of what you put in. One of the big outdoor chains sells these in-store under a brand name, Gear Guard, on products from around $25 all the way up to $500. And customers have alleged, in their own words on hunting forums, that when they finally tried to use the plan they'd bought, the turnaround was weeks long and they could only use it once, while the manufacturer's own repair was faster and barely cost more. I'm not going to tell you a protection plan never pays off for anybody. Once in a while it does, and when it does, that person tells everyone. But the house is not offering you that plan because they're worried about your gear. The house is offering you that plan because on the whole pile of plans they sell, they keep the math you just heard. That's the first thing. Now watch how it connects to the second. The second thing we were trained to push is the thing you can barely see because it's the gun itself and what we did around it. I told you at the start that the rifle is bait. Let me show you that's not me being dramatic. The trade press for this industry, a publication called Shooting Industry Magazine, the one written for the people who own these stores, not for you, said it plainly. As of recently, firearms were averaging right around 16.5% gross profit margin. Ammunition, somewhere around 25% on the bulk stuff. And those two categories, guns and ammo, the two things you walk in for, are some of the lowest margin products in the entire store. The same magazine said out loud that firearms, followed closely by ammunition, are about to become, or already have become, loss leaders. A loss leader is the discounted thing in the front window that exists for one reason: to get your body through the door so they can sell you the profitable stuff once you're inside. Smith & Wesson's own filings with the Securities and Exchange Commission tell the same story from the other end. Their accessories division ran a gross margin north of 50%, while their actual firearms ran under 40%. The accessories are worth roughly double the gun. So here's what we were trained to do, and the magazine for store owners said this part out loud too. The pricing rules force the retailer to make the gun profitable through add-on sales of higher margin goods and services. That's the quote, near enough. So the sling, the case, the cleaning kit, the extra magazines, the box of ammo, the bore sighting service, the mounting fee. Every one of those got offered to you in the 30 seconds after you said yes to the gun, and every one of those carried 2, 3, sometimes 4 times the margin of the rifle itself. You thought the $600 rifle was the big spend. The rifle was the cheapest thing on your receipt for the store to sell you. Everything stapled to it was the actual business. That's the second thing. The third one is where it starts to cost you real money. The third thing we were trained to push is glass. Optics, the scope on top of the rifle, the binoculars, the rangefinder. And this one stings, because it's the place where we could most easily talk you into spending hundreds of dollars more than you needed and feel good about it, because we'd convince ourselves we were helping. Here's the margin reality. Accessories as a category, and optics live in that category, run somewhere around 30 to 40% margin against the 12 to 20% the store makes on the gun. So the incentive to walk you from the scope you came in for to the scope 2 tiers up is enormous, and it's structural. It's built into where the profit lives. And here's the part the industry would rather you didn't sit with too long. For the overwhelming majority of hunting that Americans actually do, you do not need the expensive glass. The hunting publication Meat Eater, which has no reason to undersell you, states it cleanly. Most hunters can consistently put a bullet in the vitals of a deer out to 200 yards or more with a 3-power or 4-power scope. The average shot on a whitetail happens somewhere between 40 and 200 yards. A basic 3 to 9 variable scope covers that with room to spare. But on the floor, you'd get walked past that scope. You'd get handed the one with the bigger objective, the fancier reticle, the longer range numbers printed on the box, range numbers that are mostly marketing, measured off reflective targets you will never shoot at in the timber. And it would be displayed for you in a way that's no accident either. Good, better, best. 3 scopes in a row, the cheap one made to look like a compromise, the expensive one made to look like the serious choice, and the one in the middle, priced exactly where they want most people to land. That layout is a documented psychological tactic. It works on me, and it works on you. Now, I owe you honesty here, because this channel doesn't pretend premium gear is always a scam. There are real reasons to buy better glass. Low light at the edge of legal shooting hours, genuinely long shots in open country, glass that survives recoil and weather for 20 years instead of fogging up the 3rd season. Those are real. If you hunt that way, buy the good stuff and never look back. But you should buy it because your hunting demands it, not because a tired hourly employee was standing in front of the more profitable shelf reading you a script. That's the 3rd thing. The 4th one is the one that should make you the angriest, because it's the one you can't see at all. The 4th thing we were trained to push wasn't a product. It was a brand. A specific brand over the others, regardless of whether it was right for you. And the reason will probably change how you think about every piece of advice you've ever gotten over a counter. The optics companies and a lot of the gear companies run what are called pro programs or VIP programs or pro deals. And these aren't secret. The companies advertise them on their own websites. Vortex runs a program for retail associates and tells them in writing that as experts who interact with customers, they're encouraged to use and review Vortex products. Leupold runs a VIP program for industry professionals and literally instructs them to use their voice, to share their expertise about the products in person and in online reviews. EOTech says plainly that retail sales associates are critical to helping them promote their products to consumers. The way these work is, if you stand behind a counter, you get to buy that brand's gear at a deep discount, sometimes 65% off, or sometimes free. And there's a reason a billion-dollar optics company gives away expensive scopes to a $20 an hour employee. The reason is in the data. A study run for the company that operates one of these programs, conducted by researchers at the Wharton Business School, looked at more than 60,000 sales associates across hundreds of stores. They found that brand sales were 87% higher from the associates who'd engaged with that brand's program compared to the ones who hadn't. 87%. So picture the floor again. You ask the guy in the vest which scope he'd run. He tells you, with total sincerity, the brand he loves, the one he runs himself. And he's not lying to you. He really does run it. He runs it because that's the brand that gave it to him for next to nothing, the brand whose program he's enrolled in, the brand whose gear is sitting in his own safe at home for free. You thought you were getting the neutral opinion of a fellow hunter. You were getting the output of a marketing program that the manufacturer measured at 87% more effective. Former counter staff also described gun makers handing out bonus firearms to salesmen who moved enough of their product. I'll let you weigh that one as the account that it is, but the Optics Pro programs are not rumor. The companies publish them. That's the fourth thing. And the fifth thing, the last one, is the one we were graded on harder than anything else in the building. The fifth thing we were trained to push on you wasn't gear at all. It was the store credit card. And if you want to know what the floor of a big box outdoor store is really selling, this is your answer. Former employees of the major chains say it over and over in their own words in public reviews of their old jobs. One of them put it as flatly as it can be put. They said the place is a credit card company that happens to sell sporting goods. Another said the retail business is only really profitable because of the credit card business, and that in the end, what you're selling every single day is a credit card. The pressure these people describe is relentless. Performance reviews tied to how many cards you signed people up for. Daily quotas. Managers reading out card numbers at the huddle. People describe being valued less for what they knew about hunting than for their willingness to chase a customer down and get them to apply. And the cards themselves are a real financial product with real teeth. The rewards look good on the sign, points back on your purchases, but the everyday interest rate on anything outside the store can run all the way up toward 26%. So the last thing, the thing we were pushed hardest of all to attach to your trip, wasn't something that would help you in the field. It was a line of credit, sold to you in a happy moment, that the store profits from whether you ever shoot straight or not. That's all 5. Now let me pull the camera back because the 5 things aren't really 5 things. Here's the reveal, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Go back to that receipt I told you I kept. Look at it the way I learned to look at it. The rifle, $612, the thing the customer obsessed over, was the lowest margin line on the page. Underneath it, the optics, the case, the sling, the ammo, the bore sight, all running double or triple the gun's margin. The protection plan at the bottom, 50% or more of it pure profit. The brand of glass he picked, chosen for him months earlier by a pro program he never knew existed, and stapled to the whole thing, an application for a credit card we were graded on getting him to sign. None of that was the salesman's idea. The guy in the vest didn't wake up greedy. Every one of those 5 moves came down from the same place, the same structure, the same simple design that runs the entire floor. The gun and your trust are the loss leaders. They're the bait. They get you in the door and they get your guard down, and then the building goes to work on the margin in an order somebody figured out a long time ago and wrote down for the rest of us to recite. It was never 5 separate tricks. It was one machine, and you only ever saw the parts of it that were pointed at you. So what do you actually do with this? Because I didn't make this to leave you feeling stupid for ever walking into a store. The gear is real. The stores aren't villains for existing, and you still need a rifle and a scope and a box of shells. Here's how you walk the floor now that you can see the machine. When they offer you the protection plan at the register, you already know the math. 50 cents or more of your dollar is profit, and under 20 cents comes back as claims. So for most gear, you politely say no, and you keep your money. When you buy the gun, buy it as the bait it is. Let them sell it to you cheap. That's the one thing they're not really making money on. And don't feel obligated to load up on the high-margin add-ons in the same breath just because the moment feels good. You can buy the sling and the case next week online with a clear head for less. When it comes to glass, Decide what your actual hunting demands before you ever walk in. 200 yards in daylight does not require an $1,800 scope, and if you genuinely hunt the hard conditions where better glass earns its keep, then buy it on purpose, not on a script. When the friendly expert tells you the brand he runs, just ask him, straight up and friendly, whether he's in that brand's pro program. Watch what happens. And the credit card, the thing they want most, is the easiest no in the building. You came to buy a deer rifle. You did not come to open a line of credit at 26%. None of this requires you to be cynical. It just requires you to know the order the script is written in, so that when somebody recites it to you, you recognize the song. That's the whole thing. That's 6 years behind the counter in one video. This is Blind and Bank, where we take the hunting and fishing gear business apart and show you the wiring. No sponsors, no affiliate deals. Nobody pays us to point you at a brand, which, after the video you just watched, you understand is kind of the whole point. If this changed the way you'll walk into a store this fall, subscribe, because we do this to a different corner of the industry every week, and the next one names names. Until then, keep your guard up and keep your money.